So with our visit with Mr. Dickerson over at the Wetumpka Impact Crater Commission Museum, we saw all about the availability of these particular stones due to the impact crater, such as the quartz being shaped, you see. Now, if you can't take, look at the quartz here, this, and I have plenty of other videos showing how these natural materials, you hear the quartz? Look at that, it's beautiful. Right? You saw all the raw forms of this in the museum. If you watched my last video. But, you know, if you can't see the human hand shaping these items, I really don't know what to tell you at this point. So to carry on with the growing legacy of Tuscaloosa and of the native people as a whole, we've established that this crater a few miles this way, and where I gather all of this, the Coosa River, check the videos, Corn Creek, Coosa River. I'm on my way over there now to hang out with Jacob and do some exploring, and that's what got me here, looking and figuring we should elucidate what all it is we've put together here recently. So I've documented for quite a while the sacredness of that spot there on the Coosa, not only for its, obviously the crossing and the DeSoto story would have happened, right there in that area. But more importantly, this entire island, these islands, where Corn Creek meets, where all of this is gathered. They made islands of this material that they had worked. Big crater looming up over them, right? And now this crescent mound, which was found over at the site of Mabilla, with the artifact represented. Check my X page. That crescent lingered. Why that shape? Now, if you've seen my last video, you see that the impact crater, which produced all of this, is directly represented by what I've been calling that crescent mound. Look at the video of the model. It's like a model of this mound. It's trippy. This crater, documented by us in the 1800s. So what more does that tell us about the natives? Their capabilities. I mean, the mound is correctly oriented, as though it were a model of the star wound, yeah? This was a special place. DeSoto came crashing in, and something was lost, not just an inordinate amount of native lives, not just their culture, but what they held sacred and why. Their abilities. I mean, yes, it's an earthwork, but it's also a map, a three-dimensional model rendering. Goodness, they have the creek flowing next to it, just as the Coosa flows next to, up against, nearly in the star wound. They have the creek, when it backflows, it flows into the center of that mound. Leaves little swamp puddles. I've documented. Check my Mobilla presentation. Just as over here, there are little lakes, little ponds in the center of that half caldera. Not caldera, that'd be volcanic, half crater. We lost a lot when DeSoto came through, but if you're willing to spend the time with it, it becomes self-evident. Not only in the material, but in what we've labeled spiritual, which simply is a term for that which is beyond the three-dimensional, right? That which engages senses, which we have been taught heretofore were, only a certain many. Anything else is woo. I mean, goodness gracious, look at all this quartz. Imagine just the piezoelectricity, right, of this place, where everywhere you walk is this stuff. Anybody here for any length of time would have noticed the same that I've noticed in, 7 years? I mean, I've lived here most of my life, but 7 years on it and in it hard. It was a sacred landscape to Tuscaloosa, to all those who came before here in this space, this very place. Video upcoming soon. Trying to showcase that aspect of this place as well. Yeah. Long live Tuscaloosa and all those who came before him, all those that carried on the tradition and the knowing of what this place was and is. And thank all of you for your interest. I'm gonna go out and start working on a new video about all of this. And see, that's what's the most frustrating. It's what's still being stolen from us by us not knowing our heritage as human beings. I don't know how well this is showing in the light, but in here you can see the moonstone-like striations in this, cleaned off, right? Jacob's chasing waves now. Apparently he likes the Coosa too. It's quite a dramatic landscape. Jacob's like, quartz, 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 quartz is mine. impact crater. So this just gives you an example, guys, of the quartz, right? Here at the Coosa River. It's a very nice piece. Not quartz, very oddly shaped piece, though. Heavy quartz stone sheet. This big piece. This one caught my eye simply because you see how rough it is, you know, just all nasty looking, but then look at that, right? So what does that seem to want to do? It wants to go home, get cleaned up, and see why it was made into a display piece is what it wants to do. Lots of these. You see this little notch here on the side of this. That's what happens when you forgot you've got a broke toe. Son of a... Summer's here. my feet agree. Summer's here. That feels better. Water's cold, isn't it, Jacob? Ah, that's better. Okay, I accidentally paused it and I don't know where. This is Jacob and I at the Coosa River. Pulling quartz, petrified wood, mica, and everything else that adds to the charge of a place. Okay, I cannot see the screen very well out here, so I hope everything's cleaned off and showing. Jacob and I have been mucking about for maybe 10 minutes, and I've showcased to you the quartz, the size of the quartz. Now, I played a little game with Jacob the past 10 minutes. We walked right out there. It's about a foot of water. I said, let's see how many triangle pieces of quartz we can find. Don't get my new shoes. Thank you, sir. Jacob. Here. This is a really great piece. You need to get it wet so you can see how precisely clear it is. But the shape we call triangle. One. This one, a little rougher, a little cleaner on that side. This one. This one. Very smooth. On the bottom would definitely stand up of its own accord on a flat surface like so. The square was cool. I had to grab it's more of a rectangle, isn't it? It's a cube. It's a cube quartz. Now this one I thought was cool because look how rounded it is, right? And smooth, right? To where you get it down to where the quartz is what's showing off here at the top. You see that? I hope it's showing well. I'm not in a glare. So there you go. There's just an idea of some shapes that the quartz here on this island in the Coosa comes in. Anyhow, I could spend all day showing you this stuff. I'm probably going to spend all afternoon doing it, but you don't want to see all that. See you guys in a bit. From triangle quartz, I don't know. I like cube quartz. Cube quartz. Quartz cube. This is honestly my favorite, I think. Okay, so I've been pedaling around. We had another snake alert, so Jacob's on the leash for a second. Here, I just want to show a few of the more interesting pieces I pulled from, as you see, less than a foot of water. I can't really see. Look at this rose quartz. That's a solid hunk. these notches and these rocks here. Again, oddly shaped piece of quartz. Here, this is a really nice piece if you can see through the staining and the moss and the mud and the guck. Now here's, look at this. Look how well shaped that is. Okay, quartz. Look how well shaped this is. Again, heavily stained. Look at this honking piece. I see a lot in this shape here. I cannot see my screen at all, guys. So I hope you're seeing it. What is that little thing? That's pretty. The notch in there, you can see the crystals. You can see them in there. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Oh, I hope that's showing up. See the coloration in there? The notching. Stick of it. Jake trying to carry his leash over there. And then of course even the little pieces. You see this nice piece of smoky quartz. Looks like it may have a little red in there. Look at this stone. You see the green? You hear Jacob chasing his leash. About to have to head out of here with him. Whatever this is. So, you've seen just a couple of piles now of quartz crystals and a few other beautiful pieces. This rose quartz is just impressive. That's gonna go in the backpack. Coosa River, Corn Creek, Quartz Island. Powerful place.